Peekaboo. Okay, this is the 2014 AMC 10A number 7. Non-zero real numbers x, y, a, and b satisfy that x is less than a and y is less than b. How many of the following inequalities must be true? 1, x plus y is less than a plus b. 2, x minus y is less than a minus b. 3, x times y is less than a times b. And 4, x over y is less than a over b. That right there, Easter egg, that's the only correct answer. I'm going to go through why though, okay? First, I'm going to say x plus y is less than a plus b. Well, for any value x, a is always going to be bigger. And for any value y, b is always going to be greater. So in this equation, the x is always going to be less than a, so it works for the x. And y is always going to be less than b. So in the equation it says y is going to be less than b. If we just correspond this to this, we quickly find that that has to always be true. So bada bing, bada boom. We got that one. One down. The cap fell off because I clapped my hands like that. Okay, number 2. X minus y is less than a minus b. Now you might be thinking, oh, yeah, sounds about right. Because we have minus y minus b, those two correspond. No, we're not allowed to subtract inequalities. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say x was 4, a was 5, y was 1, and b was 3. Then we would have x, 4 is less than 5, and 1 is less than 3. Okay, so we can add them up, that works. We have 5 is less than 8. Okay, that's what we did in number 1. That works. Now listen to this. If we subtract these two, then we get 3 is less than 2. But 3 is greater than 2, which means that you are not always allowed to subtract inequalities. However, you can switch them up. So you can say 4 is less than 5, and then you can switch them up, and then if you write them as and then like this, you can subtract them and get 4 is greater than 1. But don't really worry about that. That's not what this case is. That's just fun facts, fast fun facts. Okay, so we proved that you cannot subtract inequalities. So 2, not right. Now we have multiplication and division problems. So for these multiplication division problems, I'm going to prove that none of them work by having x equal minus 3, y equal minus 2, a equal 1, and b equal 1. The point of this is that I have the same thing for a and b, easiest number, 1, and then these two are negatives with y being greater than x. So y times x, that would be minus 3 times minus 2, which gets me 6. Now a times b, that's going to be 1 times 1, which is equal to 1. What this is saying is this, that 6 is less than 1, which is not true. Now, this does work in some cases if x, and if either x or y is positive, and both a and b are positive, that's not always the case, so it's not always true. It doesn't have to be true. It can sometimes be true, but not always. Now for the second case, x over y, we would have minus 3 over minus 2. They're saying that that's less than 1 over 1. How dare they? 3 over 2, which is 1.5, is obviously greater than 1, not less than 1. That is not true, which means that both 3 and 4 are incorrect, meaning that the only correct answer is 1. So how many of the following inequalities must be true? The answer, 1, the best number in the world. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.